welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Lynette and I video my holidays. Something a little bit different this year. So normally I video my Disney holidays and I love going to Disney, and I do have a trip booked for next year. So I will be back at Disney in 2026. For this year, I'm actually doing something a bit different. I've always said I wanted to see more of the world, but didn't necessarily feel safe doing it as a single woman travelling by myself. So what I've actually found and booked for this year is a solo river cruise. So I'm booked with Riviera Travel and I fly to Budapest tomorrow, and it's a river cruise down the Danube. So it's called the Blue Danube River Cruise for Solo Travellers, something like that. I will obviously give you a lot more details as I go through the trip, but highlights are obviously going to be Budapest, Bratislava, Vienna, Salzburg, and various other places down the Danube as well. So something very different for me. I have no idea what these vlogs are going to look like. With Disney, I normally do a vlog for every day. I don't know whether I'm going to have enough footage to do that with this trip, so it might be one long vlog, it might be just a couple. Yeah, we'll find out together as I go through with editing these. So yeah, tomorrow I'm travelling. So today is Thursday the 7th of August, so I go on the 8th. My dad is very kindly driving me to the local station again. I'm taking the train to Manchester Airport, and then I fly with Jet2 to Budapest tomorrow afternoon. My flight's at like 4:30 or something, so normally I stay the night before at the airport, but I'm not doing that this time, which is a little bit different for me. I'm a little bit nervous travelling on the day I'm actually flying, just because last time I did that it didn't go well. But you know, it's an afternoon flight, I'm going early, hopefully we'll have plenty of time. I had actually realised I'd forgotten to book fast track security, so I've just done that this afternoon. It's a little bit later than I would have liked, but from what I can see online they do allow a little bit of flexibility in terms of the time. So I booked, so I can check in from 1:30 for my 4:30 flight. My security time is I booked 2:30, and then when I looked at the booking it says 3. So not sure what went on there. But yeah, I'm hoping whenever I get through after check-in it will just let me go through, but we'll have to see. So just a couple of other details to mention. I'm going to be in a cabin on the lowest deck. I've never done any kind of cruising before, so this is a completely new experience for me. Don't know whether I'm going to enjoy it. It's only 7 nights, so worst case scenario, you know, put up with anything for a week. But yeah, so very nervous but excited. Also, the other thing to mention, I have got a new camera. I was filming with the Canon G7X Mark II. I've now got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, like probably every other travel vlogger has. Absolutely loving it so far, but obviously it's a brand new camera to me. If there's issues with sound or footage, things like that, please bear with me, I'm still learning how to use it. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to go into any other details right now. I'll probably remember more details that I want to tell you as we go through. Yeah, other than that, hopefully I will see you when I begin travelling tomorrow. So for now, I will probably see you whenever I next speak to you, but that will be tomorrow when I am either en route or at the airport or something like that. So thank you for watching, and let's get on with the trip. morning. So I'm trying to keep my voice down, it's still quite early. It is my first full day on Riviera. You may have noticed there was not much footage from yesterday. It was a little bit chaotic. Train to Manchester was absolutely fine, on time for once, which is brilliant. Manchester Airport itself was very busy. I don't usually travel during on a Friday during summer holidays. So yeah, that was a very different experience. I got there very early, got there at 12 o'clock. A flight wasn't until 4:30. On the boards overhead, it didn't say check-in desk was open, so I kept waiting around thinking it'd eventually change. It eventually got to 1:30. I'd waited an hour and a half already, and it still didn't say the desk was open, so I just went up to a Jet2 representative and asked, and she said she'd have to go check. Went off and said it was open, so I don't know how long it had been open and it just wasn't on the board. I don't know. But anyway, got checked in. For some reason, so I've travelled a bit lighter this time. I've travelled with like a softer duffel bag. And for some unknown reason, because it was a soft bag, I had to go put it in oversized luggage. So I had to go out of Jet2 to like the generalised oversized luggage area to check my bag there. A bit weird, not entirely sure why. And there were a few other people in line who seemed equally as confused as to why they were having to check a bag into oversized luggage. But it was what it was, and my bag did arrive safely at Budapest. Unfortunately, that's where it kind of went downhill. I went through security. I did fast track security. That my code worked no problem, even though I was early. The terminal was very, very busy. But I did manage to find somewhere relatively quieter to sit. But it was so hectic, I didn't want to film anything. I got a little bit of a clip of some planes outside the window. I did like had an experiment with the motion lapse. But yeah, we got an announcement, an alert that the flight had already been delayed by almost an hour. So we were supposed to set off at 4:30. It said it was delayed till 5:20. So it turns out the Jet2 planes, I was tracking it on Flight Radar, and there's like a thing that says where's my plane now, and it was coming from Naples, so it was a flight from Naples to Manchester, and then it was supposed to be, obviously they're going from Manchester straight out to Budapest, so their flight was delayed, which meant that ours was delayed. Got the gate information about 4:15. So headed to the gate. The plane hadn't even arrived at the gate yet, so not quite sure why they told us to go to the gate that early. It did arrive shortly afterwards, but obviously then they had to clean the plane, and then apparently the Manchester Airport boarding pass scanners went down. So to get us onto the plane, there was only 2 members of staff there. One of them had an iPad that was working, and the other was manually writing down some sort of numbers that I assume identified us. So yeah, boarding took so long. Even the flight crew were commenting on it when we actually got onto the plane about how long it was taking, because the scanners had gone down. And then there was issues with them not being sure whether certain passengers were on board or not. People had also pre-booked seats, and their seats had changed, and so people had 2 different seat numbers, and people were then both trying to sit in the same seat. It was absolute chaos. Can't necessarily recommend Jet2 off of that experience. But the flight crew were lovely. They did their best with the situation, and obviously there's certain things that are out of their control. Yeah, but it's more that I don't know what happened with the double booking of the seats, and obviously then people have paid that money to sit in certain seats that they didn't get. So there's quite a few people who are annoyed with that, and we'll hopefully get their money back for that. Anyway, the flight was really smooth, and it was a brand new plane. It was really lovely. By that point we were very tired. We didn't set off in the end until I think after 6. I think it was almost 6:20 we set off, so we were almost 2 hours delayed in the end. We did make up some time en route. We were due to land in Budapest at 8. I'll be honest, I didn't look at my watch when we did arrive. I was just so tired at that point. Going through border control was really quick. Obviously we were so late that there was no one else there, and I was one of the first off the plane because I was dead near the front. So that literally took minutes. The wait for the baggage was quite a while, but my baggage turned up, so no complaints there. As we left, there was someone stood with the Riviera Travel sign, so they were dead easy to identify. Unfortunately then, we were waiting for everyone from the flight. There were 2 people, everyone kind of came through quite quickly except for 3 people. There were 2 who'd had to wait for assistance off the plane, but they came through a little bit after us, but not anything too drastic. Unfortunately, there was still 1 passenger who was missing, and so the Riviera Travel people were desperately like phoning the office, and they'd asked to go through into the luggage area to check there was no one there having issues. Could not find this missing person, so not entirely sure what happened with that person. Someone had said that at Manchester Airport there was a gentleman who'd been taken ill and then had been advised by medics that he wasn't allowed to fly. So whether that was that gentleman, I don't know. But he didn't turn up, and in the end we waited for so long. They'd phoned base, and then they decided that we'd just get the coach. And it was about a 35-minute drive from the airport to the ship. They had said that they'd provide like a light snack for people arriving late after dinner. So I was just kind of expecting maybe like a sandwich or something. But when we got there, they'd actually kept the dining room open. The staff was so lovely. There was like a buffet spread of food. I mean, it was quite late. I didn't think I'd want to eat, but the food was so good that I just couldn't help myself. So there was like, yeah, there was salad, there was bread, they had some main courses out, they had some desserts. I didn't have a dessert, but the main course I had a slice of pork Wellington, and they had a very small piece of sea bass, and yeah, it was absolutely exquisite. And obviously the wine came round, which was very much appreciated at that point. So yeah, it was really lovely, but by the time I checked in then and got back to my cabin, it was gone midnight. So I've not had time to properly unpack. I've pulled certain bits out, but I've already been to breakfast. I got up bright and early at 6:30 this morning. By the time I settled down in bed, it wasn't until about 1. And when we were moving overnight, we were sailing. I'm on the lower deck, and so it is quite rattly, I will say. I wear earplugs, so I couldn't hear it, but I could feel the vibration in my bed. So that took a little bit of getting used to. Obviously I did, and it's nothing too drastic. Yeah, it just took a little bit of getting used to. So today we're at Esztergom. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing that correctly at all. So I've been for breakfast. The breakfast, I don't really want to film in the dining room because it's so posh and I don't want to disturb people's meals. But there's fresh pastries, fruit, yoghurt, cooked elements if you want. I've gone light this morning, so I've skipped the cooked element. I had some pineapple, I had a couple of croissants with jam. There's all different flavours of jam, like anything you can imagine. They have flavours of jam. And some tea and some fruit juice. So yeah, just a light one to start the day off. In the cabin, they leave like a little printed itinerary for the day. So it says breakfast between 7 and 9, which I've already done. It's now 8 o'clock. At 9:10, we've got the safety meeting, and then at 10 o'clock we'll be going out to Esztergom to see the Basilica. Don't know how much I can film. I don't think you can film much at the Basilica, so that you might not see too much. But I'll obviously let you know how things go as the day unfolds. So let me show you the cabin while we're here. Okay, so bear with me in terms of the mess. So as you're coming through the door, you've got a full length mirror there on the right. To the left, you've got the bathroom. So, sink with some storage, you've got a hairdryer down there. Goes right the way back, so obviously toilet there. And quite a big shower as well. Plenty of towels up here. And then large bed. It is actually 2 single quilts, so that was a little bit weird at first. Get a little bedside table. The plug nearest the bed is actually like a European one, so if you want anything charging on your bedside, make sure you bring the circular 2-pin European. They also provide you with a metal, I don't know what you can see on there, there's Riviera. It's a little reusable bottle. Very big TV on the wall there. First you've got this one wardrobe, which is mainly shelf space. There actually appears to be a Riviera umbrella that you can use back there. Either that or it's someone's left theirs behind in the last cruise. So yeah, big TV, a little sort of desk sitting area. The other things to show you that they provided. So for each place you go to, there's a little map sheet. So if I actually showed you the right way around, that would help. So a little map of the town, and some places of interest are marked on there. And on the back, I assume it's fairly similar for each one, but this is the Esztergom one, and it's all about the history of the town and a bit more about the points of interest, which I thought was absolutely lovely. And obviously that will really help if you don't want to do the guided tours that have been arranged, and you want to kind of go off by yourself. This folder was also provided. It's got like safety information and a few other bits and pieces. Tissues. Oh, I forgot to mention, you've got control of the air conditioning in your own room up there. So down here we've got UK plugs, USBs. I think this is really the only one area for that, because the one over here, this is the Riviera audio device that they provide, so I do need to work out how to use that. So obviously that's plugged into that one there. You got the phone. On this other side, I just hang a few bits up that I was worried about crease. So this is more long storage rather than the shelves on the other side. Some drawers at the bottom. Got an espresso machine. I assume that's maybe in like an ice bucket. Oh no, that's kettle, ignore me. In there you've got all tea and coffee making facilities. In here you've got the safe, which is quite deep. Might not, if you've got a small laptop it probably fit in there. And then a little mini fridge, so if you buy anything that you need to keep cold. Over this side, little table and chairs, another bedside table with another of the continental plugs on that side. Now let me just open the curtains to show you the window situation. So I am in the lower deck, so all I've got in terms of windows is this little sort of higher up stretch. I can still see out. Obviously currently we're moored against another ship, so yeah, can't see out at the moment, but yeah, it wasn't worth the upgrade price to me. And by the time I come to book, the middle deck was sold out, so it was either the lower deck or the higher deck, and I think it was about £1,000 price difference. So this will definitely do me for the next week. Very excited to see what else is around. Okay, so I've just come up on the top deck. I'll try and capture some footage of the rest of the ship later on. certainly an incredible view first thing in the morning. I think that is the Basilica, which is where we will be going today. We're currently moored against 2 other ships. You can see we're kind of attached to one there and there. It's absolutely incredible, and the weather is lovely as well. So on this upper deck you can see there's a little plunge pool, a little putting thing, and then you can see all the way down there lots of sun lounges, lots of shade. This looks absolutely ideal, particularly as we'll be sailing this afternoon, so I might come up here, read, watch the world go by as we sail down the Danube, because yeah, those views are absolutely stunning. And once again, the Basilica. Absolutely amazing. I'll try and get some footage inside the ship, like I said, a little bit later. Okay, so had a lovely time in Esztergom this morning. We went to the lounge to start with, where we did like a safety briefing. They talked about some like various housekeeping bits on board, which was really all really useful. And then we had a little briefing on what we were going to be doing at Esztergom, which was mainly just looking at the Basilica, obviously and going inside. Just a thing to note about the Esztergom Basilica: it's an active Catholic cathedral, and so women have to have their shoulders covered. That's a rule. On the website it does also say women should have their knees covered as well, but that wasn't told to us. There were lots of people who went in with shorts above the knees. It was just the covering the shoulders that they enforced. We got told we could take photos in the Basilica. Nothing was mentioned about videos, and when I looked online it was a bit I don't know, it wasn't clear whether you could video, so I stuck to photos, didn't want to be disrespectful in any way. So we took noddy trains up to the Basilica. It's quite a steep hill, so it was very nice that those were provided there and back. We got there for 10 o'clock. Sorry, the noddy trains left from near the ship at about 10 o'clock and then left from the Basilica at 12. So yeah, I've probably been inserting some photos that I took of the Basilica as I was talking. I took a few clips from the outside. Everything was just absolutely stunning. Unfortunately it is under reconstruction. Apparently it has been for the last like 6 years, so chances are the reconstruction isn't going away anytime soon, but what we could see was absolutely fabulous, just absolutely breathtaking. So we've just come back onto the ship. I think we'll be setting sail soon, like another 15 minutes. But lunch should be open in a couple of minutes now. So I'm planning to head to the main dining room. This is really annoying me. Please hold for a second. Okay, there we go, I can see again. Yes, I'm planning to go to the main dining room. There is the Riverview kitchen that you can go to, which has like some burgers and pizza and fish and chips and things at lunchtime, and you don't need a reservation to go at lunchtime. But I think for today, definitely want to just carry on experience in the main dining room, but I do plan to at least go for lunch to the Riverview kitchen at some point during my stay on the ship. One other thing to mention, now that it's daylight, we've got no boats moored alongside us. You can see how close I am to the waterline from this window. So this afternoon we've got a lot of free time while we're sailing to Bratislava, so I'm going to have lunch. Obviously I'll tell you how that was, but then yeah, lots of free time, so I'm probably going to wander around the ship. I'd like to be able to film a little bit, show you the layout, but depends how many people are out there enjoying the facilities as well, because I don't want to get in people's way, like shoving a camera around. Yeah, then at 2:15 we've got a briefing on Bratislava ahead of tomorrow's excursion, so I'll be going to that. Then I think there's nothing until this evening, but I'll let you know what's happening this evening anyway. My plan this afternoon is maybe to take my Kindle up to the sun deck and just sort of set up camp and watch the world go by. One thing to note, on the excursions I'm probably not going to be able to film too much of precisely what we do, because a lot of it you use your audio device, so you're listening to the guide, and obviously you wouldn't be able to hear them through my earpiece. So there's not a whole lot I can show you of the excursions other than some like photos and a few clips here and there that I take. So just back from lunch, it was absolutely delicious. I just had a bit of salad as a starter, and then I tried the Hungarian pasta. I am not going to try and pronounce it because I will butcher the language, but I took a picture of the menu, so I'll insert that, the picture of the pasta. I also tried the apricot cake and the panna cotta. Both were absolutely delicious. I think I'm going to be spoilt for choice with food. This cruise, there were so many things I wanted to try but don't have the stomach space for it. Yes, the salad and the desserts, they're all on a buffet. The Hungarian pasta was like almost like the special, so that was at the cooking station, and then any other main courses you could order and they would be brought to your table. So I'm just going to try now. I've got about 20 minutes before the Bratislava talk, so I'm just going to try and quickly capture some of the sort of communal areas on the ship as well as a walk. Okay, on the lower deck you've got the fitness centre on that side, and the hair and nail salon over there. Don't know where the light's strobing, but down here you've got the dining room with some views. On the middle deck here you've got a drink station. Up on the top deck you've got a little library, I assume of books that people have left behind. So there's the Riverview kitchen at the end of the top deck, little small intimate restaurant. And again the lights are strobing, but looking down from the top deck you've got the reception on the right, the Riviera concierge on the left, and the little boutique towards the top left, and the bar straight ahead. And then this is the lounge where they do the talks about the different areas, and obviously bar in the evening with absolutely gorgeous views. Not too much interesting going on at the moment in terms of landscape. really just a quick one. I went for the evening meal. I did take a picture of the menu. I haven't filmed actually in the dining room because it's a very fancy place. I don't feel too bad about taking photographs of my meals at lunch and possibly breakfast. I don't think breakfast necessarily warrants taking photos of, but I don't really feel it's appropriate to do that in the dining room in the evening, but it was spot on. I had the shrimp cocktail, which was delicious, the braised short ribs, that was absolutely lovely, and then the we call it the chocolate cherry fizz, which is basically chocolate ice cream with some cherries on. Absolutely outstanding meal. They keep coming around with the wine. I've had quite a bit to drink at this point. We then went up onto the sun deck and watched the lock. So we went through our first big lock, which was really interesting. It was a lot slower than I thought. I did take a hyperlapse of that. I might have inserted it as I'm talking. But yeah, even doing it as a hyperlapse, it still takes quite a while. Quite a slow process. It was almost 45 minutes actually. So yeah, it was really interesting though to watch it happen. And everyone was up on deck, which was really lovely. And then we went down into the lounge. We did like a majority rules quiz, which took a downward spiral quite quickly. Yeah, some rude answers coming out. But yeah, really lovely. We didn't win, but I think our team possibly came second, but we didn't get anything for that. I think we were just second to last to have our hands up. So yeah, really lovely first full day on the Riviera Cruise. I'm very excited for tomorrow. We have our itinerary that's been dropped off while I've been at dinner. So doing a very similar thing, but tomorrow we're at Bratislava. So yeah, very excited, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!